Hi, you can call me Ms. I'm a student at NEIU. I'm 23 years old, and I'm also a dental assistant, so I do have some experience in the healthcare business. Well, my previous experience is just basically reading random articles or things that I've learned from my professors or my colleagues, but that's about it. Well, the whole process when I was watching the TV, I was I was a little bit content, I guess you could say, that Trump was winning, only because I figured that if Hillary won, we would see the same old politicians in the office. And I wanted something new, something different. And I felt like Trump was daring. I know he did make some racial slurs and whatnot, but I felt like he was different. And I thought maybe he would bring about some sort of change. So when I saw that he was winning, something inside of me, I felt kind of guilty, but I felt also kind of satisfied in a way. But after in the morning, I realized he did win, and I was shocked because I thought that Hillary would definitely win. And then my reactions afterwards, talking to individuals, people were really scared. They were in shock. They were so worried because I do have a lot of minority friends, Muslim friends, and they were really scared. But I was talking to one patient, and she said that even though she was in shock and she was a little bit scared, she had the same reaction as me towards the beginning. She said that, maybe we will finally see some change, something different happen. He does have some interesting healthcare reforms. So we'll see where that goes. One thing that the media didn't really express thoroughly is his healthcare reforms. He does have a plan. I feel like the whole propaganda was going around that he didn't really talk about his policies, but he did touch briefly upon them, but just the media didn't express them. So he wanted to repeal the Obamacare, which I think is a good idea because there are some issues with Obamacare. Individuals are being charged just because they can't afford health care. So it's kind of like ironic. Why would you charge them for something they can't afford in the first place? So he wants to repeal that. Apparently he won't get rid of everything that Obama offered in his Obamacare, but he will add more competition to the market. So he will allow healthcare providers to expose their prices. So this way there will be more competition in the healthcare. So then this way, you're free to choose which healthcare coverage you want. And then also he gives you more freedom. So if you want a little bit of coverage, you can go for that, or if you want more. So I feel like in a sense, he does have some good ideas on healthcare. Interesting question, and I love it. And I say this all the time. I think that it more describes the whole nation and not so much the president. Or instead of focusing so much on the president, Trump is a racist, I feel like we should reflect upon ourselves. We make up the face of this nation. It's not necessarily the president. He could have an effect on us, he could influence us, but I feel like we have to look deep within. And he's exposing all of this hatred, and I think it is a good thing. We're constantly living in an illusion that we think everything is fine, no one is racist, but he's kind of exposing the real truth of this nation. And there is a good side to it. People are sticking together. You can see there are a lot of protests going on, which is good. I feel like if you really mean well for a cause, you should go out there and express yourself. So there are negative things, but there are also positive things from this election. I don't know the long effects, but the short term, or even now, what I'm seeing is a lot of people are being, I guess you can say, bullied. And I know just one professor today, a student told him that few students every day are scared to go to school because of their community. If they go outside, they'll be bullied, so they can't even go to school now. So I feel like it does have an effect, and I would be reading random comments or statuses on Facebook where this one hijabi girl was almost pushed on the rail tracks. So you can see hate going on, and it's sad. But again, I feel like we should kind of look deep within ourselves and not necessarily blame the president, but see how we can help each other and change as a whole community. I haven't really been affected because, in appearance-wise, you would assume I'm white, and yeah, I'm Bosnian, and I am kind of like a minority. There's not many Bosnians around, but my skin color is white, right? So it might not affect me personally to such a great degree, but I do feel really heartbroken for everyone else that's a minority or a different religion. So I feel like they will have negative effects, and they will be hated. They will be, like I said, bullied. Hopefully not. I mean, this is what I'm hearing, right? You hear negative stories. Are there any good stories out there that are not being expressed in the same way? I'm not sure. So we'll have to see in the long run. We have to educate ourselves. We can't be biased. We can't be stuck in our old ways. Maybe this is a new opportunity for all of us. Maybe Trump won just bring negativity and hate into this country, right? You never know. He does have some interesting reforms. Maybe some of his environmental reforms aren't much reforms at all. I mean, he's still gonna initiate the whole fossil fuels and all of that, and he doesn't believe in global warming. So that's negative, but I mean, maybe there will be something positive out of it. Only because, I mean, yes, people say he's not a politician, but maybe that's what we need. Maybe we do not need the same old politician in the office. Maybe we need just another person. And I know he's rich and everything, but yeah, people like him because of that. He's a businessman, right? So they're hoping that the economy will improve. So we'll see with that. Hopefully something happens. So inform yourselves, and I mean, express yourself if you feel like Trump is not right. I mean, you can, I guess, continue protesting, but to be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to do much. You have to go by the legal ways. You have to look into the laws. What can I do? Read the Constitution, be informed. It's not much. And one more thing also, I like to say that state elections are extremely important. I feel like a lot of people focus on the presidential election, but not so much the state. But that's where you live. So I feel like your voice can be heard even much more so in a state election rather than the federal, or you know what I mean? So I feel like being informed even in the state election is really important, because maybe that did lead even Trump to be where he is now. So there you have it. Well, sometimes I will read the Chicago Sun-Times or the LA Times. Other times I would just go on Facebook and just read random articles that come up, because everyone has so many different views. So I feel like you're exposed to so many different people. So this way, wherever you find, I would click an article. I would try to skim through and read. Other times, of course, professors have influenced me and my views, my friends. But I try to always have my own viewpoint and not be clouded by anyone else's opinions. So it's important to read different things and not just one right-winged or left-wing magazines, but kind of everything to get the big picture of it. The media, they do sell a lot of propaganda. They do. So you have to kind of look at the whole interview, not just a part of it, not just a short video clip, because things are edited, they're clipped, they're reorganized, so that can portray an individual completely differently. So you have to look at the whole conversation before you can make any judgment. So I think that's important. Yeah, so I did first, my initial response is that I'm voting for a third party. It only makes sense. Everyone else, we have always had a Democratic or Republican in the office. I feel like the Green Party or Liberal, it's something different. We'd obviously need major change. So I was going for Jill. But then a lot of people have negative reactions towards that. They say, if you vote for Jill, you're basically voting for Trump, because there's no way that a third party can win. And I feel like that's so sad. We don't have an option then if it's just Democratic or Republican, seeing that Hillary and Trump are kind of identical in a way. So it kind of broke my heart, thinking that, you don't have a choice if you vote for a third party, or you don't have any say. But then I was like, okay, maybe you're right. But then, at the very beginning, I did go for Trump, only because, like I said, he's different, he's daring. I thought maybe things will finally change. But then, I would talk to my friends about it, my professors, and they all were sincerely scared. They said if Trump gets elected, white supremacy will be on the rise. and more racism, bigotry, all of that will be just on the rise. And I said, okay, maybe they're right, just because I won't be affected, maybe other people will, and I don't want to make that mistake. So it was difficult choosing Hillary. It really was. I actually left the presidential candidates towards the end. I first filled out all the state elections, and then I went back and I said, okay, I have to do this not for myself, but for everyone else. I'll go for Hillary. Even though I know, she has done some crimes in the past and she's not so genuine, I guess you can say. But, I felt like I had to do what was kind of right in a sense. So I voted for Hillary, yeah. And it's important to be informed.
Okay.
Create your own views. Don't base it on anyone else's viewpoints. Kind of, be your own person. Don't get blurred or clouded with all of these other biased views. I mean, be informed and go from there.
Okay.
That is all.